We're at SiGMA 2018 and I'm standing here with Michael Hansen. How are you doing today?
Great, really great.
How are you finding SiGMA so far?
I think SiGMA last year it was already very good, and I think this year it's super, really. So far we really also focused this year our team because we felt it's going to be important. So we also stepped up the game since we saw that it's going to be even better.
So Enteractive helps iGaming companies get lost players back in the game through great customer support. How did you discover that there's a gap in the way iGaming companies retain customers that can be filled by Enteractive?
Well, honestly, in the start of this iGaming, everyone was focused on getting new players, and that was the big thing. Affiliation was growing a lot, and I always thought, even though no one back in those days, 10 years ago, believed in it, I thought that there has to be something there for long-term care and actually talking to players that maybe stopped playing for some reason, or they didn't find their home yet in the gaming industry. So I felt that's what we should focus on. So it's very simple, actually. It's a basic need just to talk to people and get them to feel comfortable.
Like you said, a lot of money goes into finding new players, but what's the consequences when you forget about your current players?
Well, the consequences is that you spend a lot of money on getting them in, and your KPIs might look great, because we're booming and everything, but at the end of the day, if they don't stay, then what's the point? And also, the first month when you then get in the new players, your cost will go up because they'll probably have bonuses, linked to them coming. A startup bonus is very, very usual. And then, second month, third month, you'll have, 15, 20% left. And that is when we come in. And I think what we have seen is something even magical, that after 5 years still we don't lose players. They actually stay because we talk to them and we create something different, like a personal relationship.
What are the most effective ways to keep a player?
I think honestly it's about first of all it's the product. You have to have a good product, and I think you can see that some of the biggest operators have had a big focus on product, so it's going to be fast and it's going to be agile and intuitive to use. I think that's number one still. But then comes the feeling that this is a brand that understands me. I feel it's easy to use. I feel it's for me. And that's, I think, is where we come in. And I also think that in an industry when everything looks the same, everyone has the big games from the game suppliers. Everyone has the same kind of payment solutions, more or less. I think it's even more important to be personal, because that's the only way to differentiate yourself.
How can using your services change the revenue for an iGaming operator?
Well, I just think that you can focus more on what you're good at. You can focus more on building your long-term brand image and all that, and let us that are experts actually take that brand to the players so they understand even more what it's about. And that changes the revenue, because you actually don't have to all the time, again, pour money into getting new players. You actually retain them and you create a more sustainable ecosystem. So I think that's how we change it.
You're also working within the guidelines of responsible gaming. How can you ensure that the player is playing responsible?
I think it's actually quite simple. People first think that if you call someone, you're gonna be creating maybe problems, but it's a complete other way around, because when you talk to players, they can actually tell you that they have an issue, and that we pass on to the operators. So we actually help with that, and for us, we educate our staff regularly. All new staff goes through training, all old staff also go through training in responsible gaming, and we do tens of thousands of calls each month. Of course, you have issues when someone have misunderstood something or whatever, but that happens if you don't call as well. You'll always have those issues, but we really work hard on giving feedback back to the operators. Here we have an issue, and then it's up to their specific responsible gaming teams to take a decision. So we help them, give up warning signs that here something might be wrong. And I think that's the only real responsible way of dealing with responsible gaming, actually talking to players. So I think it's an excellent tool to work through a personal call.
Please tell me about the reactivation cloud.
All right. So Reactivation Cloud is basically what we did now. We've been doing this for 10 years. And in the beginning it was very rudimentary, it's very simple. We got the list through FTP and from an operator, and we started calling those players on that list and talking about the operator and the brand. Now we did it completely differently. Basically you're connecting to our Reactivation Cloud and you have total control. So you can listen to the calls in almost real time. You can see all the stats. You just log on. So it's like the first time you can do reactivation and activation and have, as an operator, complete control of what's going on with your data. Everything is there. You just log on. You get all the data. So I'm super proud of it. We invested years into it, and I've really, focused on it, and it feels really great.
The reactivation cloud is up and running at Betsson. How has the feedback been so far?
It's been really great, and to be honest, we launched it now, as a product, but they, as a very, very loyal long-term client, have been using prototypes of it already for a long time. So it's not like it's a switch. We went from non-tech to tech. It's been a transition, but now we felt it's so good that we can, more launch it as a separate product. So they've been using it, and some of our other customers are also using it as we speak.
How do you think AI will be used in the iGaming world, and what applications can you use it for?
I think I'm probably not an expert on this because we are very, focused on our product. But where we use it is obviously in scheduling. So we learn from machine learning. We see the behaviors that the customers have. So to try to call them and contact them in a better moment, we automatically let that intelligence, control when we call players and so on.
How does shows like SiGMA contribute to the industry?
The most important thing probably is that in today's world, when you're running around like crazy with your iPhone or Android or whatever, and you're constantly online or whatever, you're doing 100,000 things at a time, finally you get to sit down and actually talk to someone that you have, seen on email for 5 years, and that's really nice. I think that's a bit why we started, to bring that personal feeling and actually a personal contact to it, and I think it's wonderful, and I think that's the best benefit.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Super nice talking to you.
Thank you.
I'm Clara for SiGMA TV, the world's iGaming village.